Hello everyone, I'm back outside again. Today is also very overcast and it's a beautiful day. Today is Vlogtober number 4 and today I'm just going to be winding my yarn that I made for the Tour de Fleece last year. So this is not this year's yarn. It has none of the. I had previously shown a big bulky bobbin. It's not from that at all. It's actually quite new, or quite old. It's already a year old. So the first one I'm going to be doing is this one. And I really like, sometimes I do it. I don't do it often. So when I do, it's kind of a treat. But this tells me how much I made. And so I made 120 yards. It was wool locks. It was spun on my kiwi, and it was hand carded. So all the locks were hand carded. And I remember these being little rolags that I made. So that's a pretty neat little tag that I made. I hope that I can remember to make more tags. At least just for like the special stuff that I, you know, if I carded it or anything. And this blue, it's showing up pretty well. It's pretty vibrant. I'm hoping to have enough to make my son a Sonic the Hedgehog hat. So this is the first one. Came out very pretty. As you can see, the inside, the inner part is a little bit of a different color, and the outside is a lot more vibrant. This one has more like, it's kind of like a little bit gray almost, I want to say, a little darker, and this one's very, very bright. But the little table that I'm using is very, very loud, so I'm just going to be putting these into little cakes and then talking to you about them. But I have quite a few. The other things that I have are these tiny ones, and so these three, these are actually it's actually a braid that I over dyed. This one was the main one, and it's a reddish color, kind of pinky. It's not really coming up on here. It's not really reading very well. But I didn't like it at all. So then I tried to over dye it with some other colors, and this one actually came out okay. It has like blues and purples, but it still didn't come out as I wanted it. I did end up applying it with a brown, and it's okay. But I think this is actually this is just some like little scrap that I got. A lot of times I make a lot of bats, so a lot of times what I do is I get a lot of little scraps, and I most of the times I put them into bats, and sometimes I card them and make them into rolags. But this one I just decided to spin it up together. I wanted to see what it looked like, and so I think that these 4, I'm not sure, but I think they can make a hat. So that's what I'm hoping to do with it. I'm going to be applying these. This would be a really quick hat. I'm thinking of doing possibly just a, it's like to knit a large rectangle and then to fold it on itself and crochet around as a headband. That might be what I do with this. Then I have this, which was a little bat that I made as well with some scraps. It has some like neps. The yarn the fiber was very, it was full of neps. There was no way for me to take them out. So I just kind of embraced it and put them in a bat. So it has a very, very tweedy texture to it. And it has some stellina. I'm not sure if that's reading on the camera. This one I have no idea what I'm going to do, so I'm not going to skein this one up. I mean, I'm not going to ball this one up. This one is a brown. This one I do believe I also made this into a bat. Have no use for it currently, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And this yellow and purple And there's two colors. There's like a brownish tan and like a reddish brown, and the white as well. These are all from the Espanola Valley. I'll link it below, but they're really nice. And what they do is they have bulk fiber that they dye. So this is all natural dye. I'm not too sure what it is, so I can't tell you, but I know that they dye it in-house, and so I think that's really neat. These ones, oh, and this is all of these put together. If you can see the colors inside. So this one is, it has like a little bit of a brown. This brown is actually something different, but these are all going to go together. I do have more of this. So hopefully what I'm hoping to do is hoping to make a shawl out of this. On this skein, it doesn't say anything fancy. It just says 150 yards, single ply, wool spun on kiwi, the date, and it says that it's unwashed. I do believe that all of this yarn is unwashed, unfortunately. So I'll have to see how that works out once I knit or crochet with it. I'll have to see how that the spin and twist comes out or stays. But this one is really, really pretty because it has some sparkle, like the fiber itself has a sheen to it. So I'm not too sure what I used. Unfortunately, I didn't write that down. But this one also, or this one, I think that what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be plying it onto itself. So this one I will be putting into a ball. And now I have the big yarns. So I guess I was on a green kick. And the first one I have is this one. This one was, I was calling it the watermelon roving because it looks like it was the green and the pinks. And so the pink got very overtaken by the green. So you can hardly see that. This one is very nice. This one is plied and it's a thick and thin. And so this one, I'm not too sure on these ones which ones I'm going to be making into a cake. This one is 76 yards. Very small, very bulky, yeah, I would say it's a bulky weight. Maybe a 5 or 6. No, maybe a 5. A worsted, possibly. But this one's really nice. This one, I'm not sure either. And then I have this, which this one was actually a braid that my friend gave me. It was yellow. It was just pure yellow, or not pure, well, it was like a gradient yellow, so it was very yellow, and the middle was kind of yellow, and the last end was a pale yellow. And this one, I did not like it. I did not like it at all. So what I did was I actually dyed this. I just put this in a vat of blue, and this is how it came out. This is chain plied, so it's pretty thick. So it's a pretend 3-ply. But this one came out pretty nice. It is a rougher yarn. I have a little bit of a hard time figuring out what to do with rough yarns because I am very sensitive. So what I put on my skin, wool-wise, has to be very, very soft. So with this one, I'm not too sure what I'm going to make either. So I think this one's going to stay in a skein as well. And here I have some more of that reddish, bluish, purplish, pinkish that I dyed. Oh yeah, so since I have this, I'll definitely have enough to make a hat. I'll probably try to use these smaller bits first and then see if I need more. They're all differing weights, so that's going to be something that I'm going to need to figure out. But I don't necessarily, when it comes to like making things myself, I don't necessarily care about weight or care about look. It's not necessarily something that I'm like very picky about, like cohesive. If I want something that is very cohesive or put together, then I just buy yarn. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for that consistency or texture on things that I make myself, because I'm not a machine, so I can't really make perfect yarn. And even if I could, I mean, I don't know, some people can, and that's cool, but I'm not looking to make perfect. And these two are the same, that they're dyed from Espanola Valley, I think it's called, and they are the same as the other ones, so these ones will go with that. I know that I have more. I should have some more yellow, possibly some more of this. I know that this red was dyed with the cochineal bug. I know that for a fact, because I thought it was so, I really want to dye with that. That's a little bug that is found on cactuses in southern Mexico. Those are really cool. They're really, really tiny, so it takes a lot to make up the dye. And so those are the ones that I have. That's all that I spun last year. I don't know the yardage. I am going to try to calculate the yardage. Since the smaller ones are so small, I'll have to see what, I think that I put them on a nitty naughty of 1 yard, but I'm not too sure. So we'll have to calculate that. But this stuff was really fun. Last year I was moving, so it was very interesting, and I was very happy to be able to at least do something. I did not think that I was going to be able to be in that Tour de Fleece. I even got a shirt. I'm stoked to figure out what to do with the other group, with the greens especially. I do love green. Green is my favorite color, if you can't tell. So I'm thinking of possibly putting these two together. Again, this is only 76 yards, and this is a lot thicker than this is, so I'm not too sure. And this one is, they are showing up pretty well on camera. So if you have any suggestions, I would love, I think that this one's about 100 yards. So I think I have 170 yards. I think that's enough for about a hat. I think I have a lot of the yarn that's enough for hats. And while I do like them, I do have a lot of hats. So I think that this year for Christmas, everybody's going to be getting some hats. But yeah, if you have any recommendations for any patterns that are for smaller amounts of yarn, put them down, link them down below in the comments. There is a loud sound that I'm not sure what it is, so I think I'm gonna have to end it here. But also, let me know if you think that this looks good together, or if I should just not and just only do these two. Thanks so much for being here, and I really appreciate y'all. Have a great day.